So, a round of applause for none other than Danny Christiansen. Welcome.
Thank you, and hello, and good afternoon. I want to take you through how we drive B2B personalization, and we do it with what we call creating memorable moments. It's a bit different from B2C, so I still hope that you will bring some inspiration with you. I will talk about how we at Scania aim to drive the shift, how we drive automation, how we do this within our electrification area, how we are scaling it to account-based marketing, and scaling everything with AI. So Scania is a world-leading provider of transport solutions. We have a proud history going back 132 years. We are almost 57,000 employers around the world. We have 1,500 service points. And last year, we delivered more than 80,000 trucks and some buses and some power engines. So this is the global Scania. Bringing that to Denmark, we are a minor market, but we are a mature market. Last year, the last few years, we have delivered between 1,300 and 1,400 trucks. We are 642 employers. And with these 1,300 trucks, we have a market share of 32%. So a mature market, not only when it comes to the business, but also when it comes to being digital. Which is why I think a few years ago, my colleagues at headquarters accepted for Denmark as a business unit to become a pilot market implementing marketing automation. So the transport industry is in transformation, moving away from the traditional diesel trucks and buses and engines into more sustainable transport. This also means that our business is transforming, and with that, also our marketing needs to transform. In order to do so, we want to be more customer-focused and customer-centric. But to do so, we need to know everything we can about our customers. We need to know about their expectations and their needs, able to provide them with relevant content and experiences. Because the better we become at understanding our customers and their needs, the better we get at creating these memorable moments for them to bring with them and to remember what Scania and our solutions are all about. So we found ourselves a few years ago having many different systems, a very fragmented, we heard this just before, a very fragmented IT landscape, even in the marketing department. And I realized that we need to do better. It has been said earlier, we need to work smarter, we need to do more with less. So this is why we scaled our IT strategy and we put the Adobe Experience and Creative Cloud at the center of our technology stack. On top of that, we now are scaling everything with AI. And also, to do so, we didn't work with an agency when I started a few years ago, but we needed a partner to do so. So we needed a partner that could that knew about business-to-business marketing, that could partner up with us at a strategic level, but also making sure to scale everything and to do the day-to-day activation. And I'm not getting paid to say this, but we did this with Atcore. You're welcome. But to be honest, we couldn't really have done it without them. So how did we do? Well, we had two objectives. We wanted to move away from the blast email marketing into automation. That's one thing. But we also wanted to bring marketing closer to sales. So we wanted to have a more revenue-oriented marketing approach. I think we've all been there, the spray and pray. If you are as old as I am, I've been in this business for so many years, I think you know the spray and pray method, right? That's what we wanted to move away from, the email blast marketing. So we started with automation. We built nurturing flows. We did scoring models, but also we built all our data management in Marketo automation. We did, the lead cleanup and the GDPR management, and we did not have a place to do this before we implemented Marketo. Then we moved into account-based marketing to become significantly more customer-centric. And now, we are scaling everything with AI. That was the first objective. The second one was, as mentioned, to become more revenue marketing oriented, to bring marketing closer to sales. So to make sure that everything we do is about creating sales qualified leads to our colleagues in sales. So we're actually moving away from being that colors and balloons kind of marketing department. We still like colors and balloons, but we just want to be more targeted and more revenue oriented. Moving into a sustainable transport industry, we at Scania believe that electric trucks, electric transport, electrification to be one of the main drivers. We actually believe it so much that in 2030, 50% of every new truck we sell is going to be electric. That's quite ambitious, but we still believe it. But this also made it the obvious place to start this journey within automation. So we started by defining the decision journey for when you are in the business of considering going electric with your transport. We defined 5 phases, from not being aware that Scania, I know that there's something electric going on, but I wasn't aware that Scania had the solutions for it. Then moving into being aware that Scania had something, being interested in finding out what that something is, and getting engaged in the feeds and speeds about this new business area, and hopefully ending up deciding that Scania Solutions is the right fit for my business needs. So what we wanted to do was to build what we call a digital ecosystem for e-mobility. So we started by creating a bunch of landing pages on our existing website. And we did it in a setup that supported that decision journey. Then we created some digital ads to create the awareness. We did a nurturing flow, and we put a scoring model on top of everything. Now, this is where it gets automated. This is where automation really kicks in, because it's not just a marketing email system. We had that. We wanted more. And this is where it gets interesting, because we have now a behavior-based setup, meaning that based on the behavior you have, we will give you a score, and we will target you with new relevant information based on what phase in the decision journey you are in. Now, so we are nurturing and nudging our visitors to move from phase to phase, and hopefully getting into that decision phase, the last part of the journey. Because once you are there, once you've been through the journey and you are ending up in the decided phase, we kind of define you and score you as a sales qualified lead. And then we bring all of these leads to our colleagues at the sales team, in the sales team. But then we thought we can do better. We can do better than this, because we know our products, we know our customers, so we can do better. We can get closer to sales, but we can also be more personalized in our content and our approach. So from having the decision phase, we got together with sales and we analyzed their way of meeting the customers, and we ended up with 3 new phases of engagement, that being the brief, the offer, and the sign up. It's that simple. Going through the phases, signing up for electric trucks, easy peasy, or not. Because, to be honest, these 3 phases can take forever. The timeline for this, from buying an electric truck, is 3 times as expensive as the trucks, the diesel trucks. You also need the batteries and the charging infrastructure and everything else. So the brief phase especially can go, like we get a brief from the customer, we bring them a brief on the suggestion of a setup. They kind of forgot something, so they get back to us with a new brief. So we need to do a new brief and go back. So, it can take, this decision, or these 3 phases can take 6, 12 months, even sometimes longer. But to create this, we needed to know who the people are and how they behaved. So what we did was we defined 4 personas that we knew kind of was in, more or less in all the specific companies within that target group that we have right now when it comes to electric transport. We defined 4 personas, the CEO, the CFO, the VP of logistics, and a workshop manager. But we needed to know more of these personas. So for each persona, to build these nurturing flows and make them personal, to personalize them, we needed to know more. So with data and with insights, we mapped each persona and their pain points and their needs and how they act and how they get involved with us, but also with their own organization. So we did on each persona, we did like a very specific mapping. So looking into, for example, what we call the VP of logistics, this person is often the go-to person within the company when it comes to transport. This person would like to know everything that's going on with transport, and especially when it comes to the future of transport, so sustainable transport. This person is also often very detail-oriented because they want to have the answers when they get asked. So we built a configurator. So once they got into the engaged phase, we gave them a tool to slice and dice and play around with the feeds and speeds. So when we have the first meeting with them, they are already well prepared. Then working with the brief, we know that getting a brief from Scania, so we would go and we would know more about, we would have a custom meeting, know more about the needs of the business, and we will bring a brief to them with our suggestion as to how to meet these needs for sustainable transport. We know that they need to bring this brief back in their organization. So for the manager, the CEO, or the board of directors. So to make sure they have all the facts in a nice looking way, we create a brief summary. And also, once they sign up, because they do, once they sign up, the waiting time, so from signing up into getting the actual products, that timeline is quite long as well. So we want to keep nurturing because we want to keep reassuring them that they made the right choice. So we want to stay in touch until they have their electric trucks and even after. So last thing, how we scale it. You all know, talking about content is always a bottleneck. It's always about time, and it's always about how to create this specific personalized content. We do that, and also it's about, once you have the content, it's about getting that content out there. You know, we need to get it, make sure that it gets out, that we communicate it to the right people at the right time. And we do so, it's about scaling. We scale it now with this tool called Magnety. Gives us the possibility to go from 20 minutes from creating an email into 40 seconds. So we can spend more time creating the memorable moments, and we can use this tool to scale it and make sure that it gets out there. Because as you can tell, now more than ever, it's about moving away from the traditional spray and pray method and into these memorable moments being a lot more customer-centric. We even say we want to be customer obsessed. So that's putting a pressure. But for sure, what we know is about being customer-centric, creating these memorable moments, bringing marketing closer to sales, but also, and most importantly, putting customers closer to us. That was it. Thank you.